Welcome, and thanks for joining us on this edition of News 2. I'm Sandra Gumansing, topping our newscast. A bill that recently made it through Congress in Washington, D.C. could affect the maritime industry here in the U.S. Virgin Islands, especially those in the charter boat business. How exactly? News 2's April Knight has more.
A resolution passed Tuesday by the U.S. House of Representatives could mean a whole new ballgame for charter boat operators in the territory. The Coast Guard and Maritime Transportation Act of 2014, sponsored by Pennsylvania Representative Schuster, would raise the cap on how many passengers VI charter boats can accommodate.
Really, the turning point was when the Marine Economic Development Council and some of the key members of that council met with Congressman Schuster on his visit and really laid it out to him. He understood exactly what this means to the Virgin Islands.
This wasn't a problem until 1993, when the Passenger Vehicle Safety Act required that all charter boats wanting to take more than 6 passengers go through a stringent set of inspections to get a license.
You can have more than 6 persons, in other words, to put it simply, but you would have to go through an entire process with the U.S. Coast Guard. Notifications, it's very bureaucratic, and that is prohibitive.
With the new resolution, uninspected charter boats can carry up to 12 passengers, provided they follow safety regulations. Politicians think this bodes well for the maritime industry that was affected when the limits took effect in 1993.
We had a very flourishing charter boat industry here, resulted in $140 million industry, marine industry here in the Virgin Islands, U.S. Virgin Islands. The implementation of this policy, it moved a lot of the companies to the British Virgin Islands where that restriction does not exist.
Alternative safety standards, and those safety standards allow for us to get rid of the 6-pack and begin to expand and draw back home a lot of the vessels that were home porting away from here.
The resolution still has to go through Senate approval, and supporters of the bill hope it sails smoothly through that crucial phase. Reporting for News 2, I'm April Knight.
Again, the Coast Guard and Maritime Transportation Act of 2014 is not yet enforced. It still needs to pass the Senate before it can be signed into law. Well, the double session at the St. Croix Educational Complex is coming along as the days go by. The Central High School students are getting more acquainted with the new environment, and the few setbacks are being corrected, according to school officials. News 2's Shanika Robinson has the update.
The first few days of the double session at the St. Croix Educational Complex seems to be moving at a smooth pace. The first day was started with an orientation to get the students acquainted with the new environment.
They had 2 orientation sessions because they were the auditorium was too small for all the students. So the 11th and 12th graders were in the gymnasium, and the 9th and 10th was in the auditorium. And again, a brief orientation session just to let them know that they, again, to reinforce that they had the same schedule, just to let them know where the teachers were, with the room, and to give some familiarity with the environment that they're going to be in.
The students' class schedules are working out for the sessions. However, a few schedules require special attention.
There's a one master schedule, but then, of course, you have the special circumstances within. And so there's some students from Central that arrive here from 10 and end at 3:25, and then the ROTC, they arrive for 11 and they end at 4:40. And so what we're trying to do is to make sure that the students don't have to be for the morning and the afternoon. So where we find the overlap, we've been able to fix their schedules to minimize their time within being here on the campus.
Parents are reminded to pay close attention to the bus schedule, and the Board of Education is prepared to make the best of the situation for as long as they have to.
Schedule is designed for us to be here for the rest of the year, so we're hoping for the best, but we plan for the worst case scenario. So we're prepared for here, and if we have some great news, then it's easy for us to transition back.
Shanika Robinson, News 2.
There is still no conclusion on what is causing the odor at the St. Croix Central High School. Be sure to count on News 2 to keep you updated. Meanwhile, emergency repairs are still continuing at the Superior Court. The court has been closed to the public since last week because of a sewer smell nearby. And waste management crews had been working on the sewage system. Court officials issued a statement advising that the court resumed its normal operations Thursday. They said that completed air quality tests show a 0 reading, which means the odor has been neutralized. Juror orientation that was rescheduled from last Tuesday will now be held on Friday. A 39-year-old woman is dead after a fatal car accident on April 2nd. Officers say a 2007 black Ford Explorer and a 1988 multicolored GMC pickup truck. They were traveling west to east on the Melvin Evans Highway when the GMC collided into the left side of the Explorer that was traveling east to west and making a right turn at the Clifton Hill signal light. The accident victim was seated in the Explorer on the left side of the back seat. She was taken to the Molloy hospital where she later died from the injuries. In other news, primary elections could be in jeopardy of being shut out of this year's elections process. Officials from the three political parties missed a February deadline to submit a plan of action. VI law dictates that the political parties are responsible for the cost to hold a primary. Supervisor Carolyn Fox said during an elections board meeting Wednesday that no one from the Democratic, Republican, or ICM party had submitted a plan. Former VI real estate agent Rosemary Sauter, who is accused of stealing millions of dollars from her clients before fleeing the territory, is scheduled to arrive in the Virgin Islands by plane on Thursday or Friday. This information is from VI Attorney General Vincent Fraser, who sent 2 law enforcement officers to retrieve Sauter from San Diego, where she was arrested. Sauter will be advised of her rights when she arrives, as well as go through arraignment in VI Superior Court. News 2 will keep you updated. Well, we are learning more about the suspect in the deadly Fort Hood shooting rampage. 3 people were killed and 16 others injured before the gunman took his own life. Bigad Shaban has the latest from Fort Hood, where the community is dealing with a second shooting in 5 years.
Investigators are trying to learn all they can about 34-year-old Yvonne Lopez as they piece together what led to Wednesday's deadly shooting at Fort Hood.
We have an active shooter on Fort Hood.
The Iraq War veteran is accused of opening fire at the Army base. The attack ended when an officer confronted him and Lopez turned the gun on himself. Army officials say Lopez drove a truck in Iraq and was not in combat, but he was receiving medication for depression and anxiety, and just last month saw a psychiatrist at Fort Hood as part of an evaluation for post-traumatic stress disorder.
We had no indication that there was any sign of likely violence, either to himself or to others.
Lopez had only been at Fort Hood since February. A Puerto Rican native, he, his wife, and young daughter lived off base. As the Fort Hood family pays its respects, many wonder how the base became the scene of another attack. Major Nadal Hassan opened fire at Fort Hood in 2009, killing 13 people and injuring more than 30 others.
As we watched some of the events unfold yesterday, if we failed in some way against our current policies, we need to be honest with ourselves.
Sources tell CBS News Lopez bought his weapon at the same store where Hassan purchased his. Bigad Shaban, CBS News, Fort Hood, Texas.
Keeping our eye on the economy, Yahoo is looking to protect emails and other digital information you send through its system. The company announced it has encrypted its data centers to keep hackers and the government out. Yahoo decided to add the extra layer of security after former NSA contractor Edward Snowden leaked information that claimed the U.S. government had been gathering information about millions of Yahoo users. Here's the New York Stock Exchange with our stock market watch. Everything down: the Dow, NASDAQ, S&P, the NASDAQ 38, S&P 2. Coming up on News 2, a man who is no stranger to controversy in the Virgin Islands is making a difference in the community. Stick around to hear how he uses music to give back. We'll be right back. A vendor contract needed by Molloy Hospital received scrutiny at the Territorial Hospital Board meeting on Wednesday. Board members questioned the hospital's contract with the company advisory board, which is supposed to help Molloy sort out its revenue cycle. Advisory board is providing a similar service to Schneider Hospital, but for only $300,000 for 8 months, compared with the Molloy contract, which could reach up to $1.2 million for 1 year. The Territorial Board will schedule a special meeting to settle this matter. Well, every month we recognize people or organizations who are making a difference in the lives of others or the community. Tonight we talk with a man who's no stranger to controversy, but he's using his talents to shape the next generation. News 2's Erica Parsons has the story.
Calypsonian Camille King Derby Macedon has been singing for more than 50 years, influenced by a man he sang back up to as a child.
I see potential in you. And if I had to once tell you that you're good in what you're doing, you might never reach this far.
That's what Derby's mentor, the great John L., told him, and that advice has carried Derby a long way.
If it wasn't for him, I couldn't be so far, especially in the writing part of it. Because he always said, if a Calypsonian cannot write, he's not a Calypsonian. He's a Calypso singer.
He's getting attention now for his song about the VI's potholes, and he's known for his controversial lyrics.
People on the street will say, will meet me and give me information. It's not me so much. It's what the people outside talking about.
Derby says the art of Calypso is dying, and his goal is to bring it back.
There's nothing wrong in what the young guys are singing or doing, but Calypso carry a message. It's not just a music to dance. It's a music to educate you.
For more than 20 years, he's run Calypso Inc., an organization dedicated to teaching the younger generation that art form. But the former jockey also goes into local schools every week to teach another oral tradition.
Without a banjo, there's no kwelbe. And that was really dying. Because for the past 15 years, the only two banjo players it have is Edgy and myself.
It's an effort one music teacher really appreciates.
I'm reminding of a quote that I heard on the radio from our Lieutenant Governor's wife. Our history is our strength. If we lose it, then we have lost something quite important. And I think that the kwelbe and the oral tradition of singing and cariso and all the other things that go with it are vitally important for our culture.
Right now, I have about 6 to 7 young banjo players can play with any of the kwelbe bands. So we know that I correct that. Now is the Calypso base that we go try to get back.
Erica Parsons, News 2.
Congrats, King Derby and all the students. Now bring your listening ears and your dancing shoes to St. Thomas's Roosevelt Park on Friday, April 4th from 5:30 p.m. to 10 as International Capital and Management Company welcomes the Sound of Vision Ensemble from Miami to the next installment of Jazz in the Park, offering their unique blend of contemporary jazz sounds and multicultural urban funk and Latin rhythms. In 2009, Valerio Cantori and Orlando Machado set the first milestone of their ambitious project in motion to create a fusion band that could capture the multicultural sounds of South Florida. And you'll hear hits like Something Caliente and Better Off Live. The event also includes the BCB Middle School's Flambeau Combo cultural ensemble, and there's the opening act for the evening as they debut their new Quail-based CD, Perpetuation. Now, this free event promises to be fun and entertaining for the entire family, complete with a vendor's row offering a variety of food and beverage options, arts and crafts, as well as a kids zone activity area that includes free face painting, tattoos, and balloon art. The first Friday of the month has become a synonym for local businesses getting together. Let's find out who are the beneficiaries and the honoree for this month's First Friday Business Expo.
We can use them to enhance education at the school. We can use them to do some maintenance and repairs, and we can also use them to promote our athletes.
We have students participating tomorrow and volunteering to talk to the various people in our community to tell them how great our school is and why the First Friday Mr. Flamone is doing this for us.
I was excited because I've been doing a lot of community healing for the last 44 years. I have the gift and I'm using it to the best of my ability to help people.
Come on out April 4th, Jen's Cafe, and remember,
it's free! Well, it's going to be a lot of fun. Well, be sure to stick around. Your News 2 AccuWeather forecast is coming up next.